Hey, let's take a look at a haul of comic books that I got at the, let's see, by the time this video shows, it'll probably be Saturday. I'm trying it out to see if I can transfer a video, and if it won't transfer, I'll just do this live on Saturday. So it was from this Saturday that I'll be presenting this. It'll be 2 Mondays prior that I got these on what we had was the coldest day in a long time, like 85 degrees. So let's take a look at some of the comic books, and let me see if I can get it at an angle where I can actually get the full thing in there. I don't know anything about this character, but it reminds me of, what was it, the Gotcha Man or G-Force. It just looked too much like that, so I just couldn't pass it. Look at that. I mean, that definitely looks like G-Force. It's Dr. Tomorrow numbers 2, 3, and 4. So it looks like he's going from a G-Force look to a more modern look. I don't know what's going on exactly. But it's one of those comic books that makes me go, I kind of want to read it. I don't know. It's a Valiant comic. I've heard good, I've heard bad. I don't know what to believe about Valiant. This is not all, by the way. I got a whole box over here. 9 times 12 is a number. That's how many comic books I bought because it was 12 for $10 at the Myrtle Beach Player's Choice. So it used to be up here in Charlotte, or up in Charlotte, and there's some light coming in. It's great. All right, so we got Dragonlance, which is a series that I read a little bit when I was a kid, because I used to be into that Dungeons and Dragons back whenever I was in middle school. And Young X-Men, I don't know if this is the one, but there was a series where it goes back to the origins of the X-Men and kind of like it was filling in some gaps, or kind of like the 1960s X-Men. I don't think this is, looking at the cover, but I thought, what the heck, why not? So remember, these are like 88 cents each, basically. And then this is probably the newest comic I got. It's called World's Finest. Oh, actually, it's 2009. So for me, I feel like 2011 is a good cutoff point. After that, I'm just going to be disappointed in whatever I read, except for a very few things. So the cover looks interesting. It's number 1, first issue of 4. So if I don't like it, I don't need to read the rest of them. And since I was trying to make a nice round number 12, I think this was one of the ones that's like, oh, well, what the heck? I mean, it's Marvel's Visions, the Marvel Fan Magazine. And I'm curious of what's in this, because, you know, they're all in bags and boards in the store. And then I get them home and I double bag the ones that fit together. Like, let's say if I got numbers 1 and 2 of this, oh, there's a bub cover. All right, so we got, it's a square-bound magazine. It's a magazine. Yep. It's like there's articles, writings. Yeah. It's a magazine, all right. I didn't know if it was a comic book because, you know, Marvel Fanfare looks like it's going to be something like this, but it turns out that Marvel Fanfare is actually kind of like the stories that they wrote in case they ever needed to, and then they never got around to using them, that kind of thing. See, sometimes they have little filler, like fluff comics. Like if you're writing a series in case somebody gets sick or some deadline doesn't get met, they just throw that story in there and call it a day. They used to, back in the original, like the early years, just do reprints, because back then people didn't have comic book shops, and if you got a reprint of, like, say, Amazing Spider-Man number 1 or whatever, the first appearance of Spider-Man, you're like, well, I ain't going to complain because I'll finally get to read it, and without paying a fortune. I don't remember anything about this. I just know that it was, I remember something about Clive Barker, but I don't know what Hyperkind is, but it looks pretty interesting. I think I got 2 issues. I got that one, and that's number 6 and number 5. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. Champions. I know I'm going to hate this. This is definitely past the 2011, but Champions, it reminds me a lot of the, of like a Marvel's version of Young Justice. Like, we got a very, this is definitely not the Rick Rider. I think I've read a few of these, and I think this is Rick Rider's son, Nova. I think Vision's daughter's in here, which is really strange to think about a robot having a daughter, but it's Marvel, what can you say? And then we got Miles and the Hulkling. So it's like, I think it's Young Avengers that got kind of rebranded. Young Iron Woman, I don't know. But I do have 3 issues of Champions. I bought actually just for the cover because it was a connecting cover and it looked very Dungeons and Dragons looking, so I just couldn't resist. And Captain Atom. There's so many Captain Adams there. Captain Adams. There's so many Captain Adams that I could probably get the complete collection. I need to read a few more to see if I'm really into it, because I remember trying to get in this, and it was just not as good as I was hoping it would be. But that's because he's a little bit more serious than I'm used to at that time. You know, when I first read this, it was back in the late 80s, so I need to give it a different, fresh look from being an adult now. Well, 1987, 88, 89, I was becoming an adult, technically, legally, but of course, if you're Jewish, you become an adult at the age of 13. All right, Aztec is an action figure I have, but I don't see him on the cover, so I am curious of what the heck's going on with this Aztec. It was part of the Justice League Unlimited comics, action figures. Arsenal. So I was watching, Young Justice series 1 and 2 are fantastic, seasons 1 and 2, the TV series. 3 is awful. I couldn't wait to watch the next episode in 1 and 2. Season 3, I'm just like trying to get through it, hoping I can get to season 4 and see if I watched the first half of season 3. It's like they did the first half and then they gave it a few months and they came back and they did a crappy second half. The first half was not bad. That second half is garbage. But Arsenal is one of the characters. I know him. I don't know how it's going to play out in the comic books. This is from the year 1999, so who knows? This was well before Young Justice, the TV series. But I'm not sure, and this is also number 4, so I need numbers 1, 2, and 3 to really feel like I'm motivated to read it. All right, that's not all, so I'm going to keep on going until at least we get 10 minutes, so it won't go too long, and then it won't... See, transferring a video more than 10 minutes used to be a struggle. So, anyway. Eric, Son of Thunder. I don't know much about Eric, but I thought it's a dollar comic from the good old days, so sure. Plus it has Roy Thomas, and I remember that name. No, maybe I'm thinking of the guy who owns Wendy's. Aquaman. I definitely have some from around this period I've read before. This was, I'm thinking of the 1990s, the late 90s, whenever Aquaman had the long hair. But this might be just as good. When he had the long hair, it was phenomenal comic. Here we have Sword of Atlantis. One of these I got twice because I didn't look up the right words, because it's like, how many freaking series of Aquaman are there? And that's why I created my want list, so I can purge out the ones that I already have, because sometimes you get different covers, or you're like, I don't know which Aquaman it is, because sometimes they don't have the year on here, and this one says 2006. And I think I may have gotten this one already, so... well, 88 cents, it'll be okay. All right, I'm definitely trying to fill up all the missing gaps in this. There's 2 different numbering systems. The other numbering, like this is number 507, based on the original series that started back in, I guess, 1928. And it's also number 4 for the, like, 3rd volume or something. But it looks like it's, I don't know, back in the 80s or late 70s when I was reading Adventure, it had like 3 stories. It had Starman, Aquaman, and Plastic Man on the cover. And then it got into that Dollies for Hero. This is Adventures in DC the Universe. These are fun reads. It seems like it's based on the Justice League Unlimited, which was a fantastic line. But it was actually 1998. I think Justice League Unlimited, didn't it come out? I want to say it came out in 2000, so I don't know. Which came first? You know what this is probably based on, now I think about it. It's probably based on the Batman, the animated series, then Superman, the animated series, and then they didn't make a Justice League, the animated series, and made this instead. Some comic books got turned around. Oh, I hate when they do this. All right, the Hellions. I have read one of these, and it was okay. Oh, it was New X-Men I read with the Hellions in it. But this is a limited series of one. This is 2 of 4. So this is like the Hellfire Club has their own like junior X-Men series, like group, whatever, and they're called the Hellions. Kind of like high school rivals between the Professor X high school and the whatever it is. I've read a few of the issues. Great covers, really great covers. A lot of them play back on the who's the guy that used to do the Sunday? He did a lot of really amazing covers. They're epic. I can't think of his name, but I got a big book of his because I love his art. So they had some of those homages to that. This is another one that I got already. So number 2, I didn't have of the hunted because it's not called the hunted. So when I looked it up on my phone, I looked up the hunted and I was like, oh, I don't have any of the hunted. Well, it looks familiar. I have this one, and it's because it's not the hunted. It's called Threshold. Threshold presents the hunted. It's called Threshold number 1. This is what I hate. It's like when you're in a store, you can't look it up by scanning it because, well, they do have Wi-Fi. I guess I should connect to it with my phone while I'm there and do the scans and see if I have it. That would probably be the best thing to do. And then maybe I should just scan them into my computer. All right, I got another issue of Hex, which is great. Somebody dumped a bunch of Hexes down there, so I'm trying to find them all. I had quite a few of these when I was a kid because I was not so much into the Westerns because they were kind of deplenished by the point when I started reading, but I like Western sci-fi like Brave Star, and I keep looking on the screen for people to talk because this is not a live video. I've gotten so used to live. Brave Star and things like that. I mean, I really like when you put two themes together that don't normally go together, like sci-fi and castles, you know? Because you wouldn't need a castle because you can fly right over the walls, so it's kind of pointless. We got Heroes the Return Part 2 of 4. The art looks great. Heroes the Return, I think, is based on the Heroes Reborn that didn't last for like a year. And I read the first of the Iron Man. It was kind of dry. So maybe the Return is more hopeful because it does look more exciting. We can put it that way. And then there's Hero. I did have one of these, number 1. I don't have the ones I bought, but I bought some other ones, and I'm pretty close to getting a full series of this. I thought the next one would be it because these are now facing backwards to me, which I'll rectify in the next video. So I got Hero, number 6. Look at that, that looks pretty cool. Now I need to go through, I've already put these on my CLZ app, but I need to go through my CLZ app for my wants and take them off of there, which takes a lot more time. And Future Shock. This is number 4. I think I'm only missing like 1 or 2 more issues. It's only like 6 issues. And this one. I don't know if this is any good, but it looks interesting. Alright, well, thanks for watching. And I still got this is about a third maybe of what I got, maybe a fourth. So we'll go through on another video. I don't want to make these not too big so I can take them off of here without it. Sometimes it'll like trying to get it off, snap, and it just goes away. It just completely disappears. So if they don't work, you'll see me live on Saturday morning. Have a wonderful day.